Stop the cap.
I've lived long enough and been on the internet long enough to know that this is a dead end circular conversation. I think I'm starting to value the internet more than I value real life because the internet is where all the thoughts are. The internet the internet is where people are saying the uncomfortable things and thinking the uncomfortable things and sharing the uncomfortable things. And if you've been on the internet for as long as I have, you start to recognize, these sorts of patterns. You start to see the patterns. You start to see, where there's hypocrisy. And then, there's always a new wave of people who come into the space who, like, there's certain things, like, when it comes to, like, zillennials, for example, there's certain things that I may not be in tune with or I don't know about. But then there's certain things that are cyclical, like gender war conversations. Gender war conversations never going to end because you have a new wave of people that are, transitioning into adulthood every year. And they're trying to, figure out, how the dating market works, what's really going on, right? And they're getting all these messages, especially, I mean, I don't even know how it would work because I think my generation was the last generation to actually have like the old school model. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, we had what was on television, but there was no social media. And so now you have like teenagers that, they get bombarded with the world before they ever get to really experience the world, right? And I guess in some ways that might be better because there's a lot of things that people can see on the internet and engage with on the internet that they'll, never have the ability to actually experience, in real life. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. But what I wanted to talk about is this whole Angel Reese, um, and her taking down her Instagram, because I don't know, I just caught wind of the whole, I guess people criticized what she was wearing, and she took her Instagram down. And I remember with the whole situation of Shaq making inappropriate comments about, um, just sexualizing her and everything, and I'm like, she's a cute girl. She be up there with the short shorts and stuff. Like, I see more images of her being cute and being sexy than I have seen of her, playing basketball. She's more of a sex symbol in a way, and I don't have any issue with that. I just think that, Shaq being in his 50s and her being 22, it's like, uh, again, y'all want to tell me that that's perfectly okay. I'm like, all right. I'm like, it looks creepy. I'm just saying. Maybe people wouldn't feel that way if she was open to it, but clearly she wasn't. Now, um, when it comes to what else was I going to say? There was something else I was going to say. Just lost my train of thought about. Oh, then I saw something about Charleston White. I don't even pay attention to Charleston White. Charleston White, even though sometimes like he'll say something that'll seem prophetic, Charleston White has a tendency to be contrarian for the sake of being contrarian. Like if 9 out of 10 people in a room go in one direction, he's going to go in the opposite direction just for there to be a buzz and just for there to be a controversy. It's just what he does. So I don't really take much of what he says seriously. I'll listen to it, but I don't really take much of what he says seriously. But apparently he made some comments about Angel Reese and People talking about it. And I don't even, personally, I don't even care. What I will agree with is, and this is where, let me just say this: the black community has a Madonna whore complex when it comes to black women, a profound Madonna whore complex. And it's not just black men, it's black women as well. It's like in one breath you'll have like the For Harriets and the nappy headed jojobas and the T Noirs and black women talking about, don't objectify me, yada yada yada. I am not here for your viewing pleasure, right? And then in the next breath, you'll have black women crying about colorism and black women crying about not being objectified or having other races of women objectified over them, right? And it's like, do you want to be objectified or do you not? Yes, I want to be objectified, but I only want to be objectified on my terms. You know what I mean? It's like, it doesn't work like that. Being objectified comes with some benefits and it comes with some drawbacks. It's just what it is. And a lot of black women, they struggle with that. They struggle with that just as much as the men struggle with the whole Madonna whore complex. I've been trying to figure out what the origins of the Madonna whore complex are in the black community. The number one thing that keeps getting pointing back to is the church. A lot of black people, the Bible Belt, the religious, Jesus this, Jesus that. Oh, a woman should look this way and she should be covered up and and all that stuff, right? Which is just kind of crazy and flies in the face of what we actually know goes down in the black community, with 61% of black women being mothers, with only 46% of black men being fathers, right? So, like, people can talk all that Jesus shit that they want. At the end of the day, we are the community with, all these kids out of wedlock, right? It just seems crazy when people want to sit there and they want to throw up religion and the Bible. I'm like, who's really following that shit? You got people saying that they're Christian and they don't even really practice it like that, right? Because you would think that if they were some hardcore practicing Christians, right, that there'd be more children born in wedlock, right? And that, sex would be something that is sacred, but that's not what we see, right? Then you have the fact that, when it comes to like black feminists, they think that, sexual liberation is empowering, busting it wide open to everybody, they see as on their terms, freaking the whole Amber Rose, we got to eliminate slut shaming and all that. And so there's an aspect of where black women will take the whore and then try to link the whore up with black feminist empowerment, right? So you run into that, right? But when it comes to black men, I gotta, I've already said this before, but I gotta back the women up on this shit, because this is what I don't get with black men, right? And Angel Reese is just an example here, but I've been saying this since day one and I've gotten on black women's ass about this, because it's like, okay, Angel Reese, she has her ups and downs. I've seen pictures where, I'm like, and this ain't it. And I've seen other pictures where I'm like, well, damn, you know what I mean? Like her glow ups are crazy. Like when I don't know, when she decides to really put down some effort, like she'll surprise you in a lot of the pictures that she has. And so, what was I gonna say about her glow up and black women and the glow up? Hold on a second. Oh, I remembered. Um, what I don't get with black men is, like, we complain about black women's appearance like nonstop. And I'll be the first one to admit, a lot of black women out here in these streets, they don't look like shit. They do not look like shit. They don't know how to do their makeup. You'll have women that don't even try, walking around with bonnets and rolling out of bed with their pajamas, then get mad because you're looking at the sexy white girl or the sexy Latina. And I'm like, look at how you present. And it's of no consolation where, okay, you get dressed up on Friday or Saturday to go to the club, but the rest of the week you look like shit. And you can't say this to black women without them screaming colorism or something like that. Got a lot of black women. We talk about black women being overweight, the freaking a bunch of big backs rolling around and whatnot. And so, like, here's the thing, like, you would expect when you see a young, attractive, black woman, right? That, and I don't remember what I said, I kind of skipped over what I said, but you would think that this is what the black community would rally behind. Same thing with black women. Like whenever it comes to, them supporting the image of black women, they always go like, I don't understand the whole, not like, there's this attitude of not trying to grab black women that are conventionally attractive. They try to go to women where it's questionable. You know what I mean? Like, they'll try to push like India Irie. And India Irie's got some, India Irie got a hellified body and whatnot. But from a couple of years ago, I remember she was on the cover of something. And a lot of people, they didn't really pay attention to it. But I'm saying India Arie, kind of in that Whoopi Goldberg category, is not considered a conventionally attractive black woman. And I don't even think we're comfortable with even defining what a conventionally attractive black woman is. But everybody seems to know what it is without naming it. Like, a conventionally attractive black woman would be like Gabrielle Union or like Nia Long or Vivica Fox in her prime. But right, notice all these women I just named are like 50 plus. And it seems like black women and black men don't want to champion like young women that will be the names like for the next like 20 years or so. Why does the black community insist on still using beautiful black women from the fucking 90s? I should not be hearing about how beautiful Naomi Campbell is when Naomi Campbell is like, what, 50 going on 60, something like that. Why are we still talking about Why are we still talking about Tyra Banks? You know what I'm saying? There's some shit like that. Like I don't understand that. There's new young people, fresh faces. When it comes to the men, nobody has a problem doing it with the men. Like when they had the African dude Kofi, you know what I mean? Women were screaming about the men, yes, young men. When what's his name, Odell Beckham and all this other shit. The people were screaming. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're jumping up and down about some black athlete that just so happens to be in the spotlight. When it comes to black men, it's like the black community will identify a black man as a baddie before they identify a black woman as a baddie. The young black women just get straight up ignored. And then when we get into these art conversations about colorism or the lack of desirability of black women, people are naming women in their 50s and shit. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? So like, it's like when I look at Angel Reese, I'm like, she's 22 years old, right? I think she's from Baltimore. And, it's like, it takes time for a woman to really get into her beauty, right? It takes time. And especially when it comes to like the black, athletes, the female sports athletes, you know what I'm saying? Like they, they're not the most feminine women, especially when it comes to basketball. Basketball girls are some of the most butch, masculine sisters that you'll ever see. I think Angel Reese is bringing attention. And I haven't heard anybody talk about the WNBA or women's basketball as much with this whole, whatever the other white girl's name is, Clark and, Angel Reese. I haven't heard anybody talk about it. And the attention, yeah, it may not be on the basketball court, but they're still affiliated in that space. I don't really see the problem with it, right? I do think that the WNBA needs a different image, but it's like you, women have. I get it. I get the idea that you have certain women who want to be recognized as men for their accolades or their achievements or, which I'm saying, I mean, it's not like she's won a championship, I don't think, right? But women have something that, men generally want, that people prefer to look at women, in that way. Women get to, I mean, a man at best, what do we get to wear? A suit, like at best. But a woman, she can come with all type of dresses and gowns and, just it be elaborate. Like they get to do all type of origami type of shit with the clothes that they wear as women. Men don't, we don't get that. Not that I'm not even advocating for it. I'm just saying we don't get that. And I'm saying, I don't know why. It's like you got a force in the world that's always trying to equalize men and women. I'm like, we're not the fucking same. Goddamn. Right? And then you got the other side, which is like me, which is like we're different. You know what I'm saying? Like we're different. But I feel like the women push the hardest on trying to make shit the same. And it's like, look, either you're going to be objectified or you're going to be primarily recognized for your abilities. And I'm saying not all women get objectified. Like I haven't heard anybody objectify what's her face, the gymnastic girl Biles. I haven't heard I haven't heard anybody talk, any dudes or even women say, "Oh my God, she's so beautiful. Look what she's wearing. Oh my God," or guys talking about how much they want to dick her down. I have heard that about Angel Reese. I'm sure there's going to be some women that are going to say, it's colorism. I call bullshit on that because all I got to do is go over to Fatima Diame, who is the freaking long jump runner from Spain. And I mean, she is just straight up objectified. I mean, just straight up, with her Senegalese alien build. Okay. With it, I mean, just hourglass shape, slender waist, nice little bubble butt on her. Ugh. Ugh. You know what I mean? So I know colorism is the argument to go to, but I'm just saying not all women get to be objectified. But when it comes to, the occasions where a black woman is objectified and she's young and she's coming into her beauty and she's coming into, her prime and whatnot, I don't know why that's not celebrated in the black community by both black men and black women. I mean, even this shit with Cooking with Kaya. You know what I mean? It's like the women, they were like, first it's colorism. Then you get Cooking with Kaya and the dudes, they looking at Cooking with Kaya, and then, oh, you don't like black women. Men are blowing up Cooking with Kaya. But somehow that doesn't get recognized as brothers being interested. And I think a lot of it has to do with like women don't want to play that type of part. They're like, no, I want you to desire me to my specifications. I want you to desire me the way I want you to desire me, when I want you to desire me, how I want you to desire me. And it's like, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Men like certain things. She's playing the part. Those dishes look hellified, and that's what it is. And I'm saying that's the zillennial generation. They up on it. But I think that, again, that feminist streak with black women, they don't want to play that role. But then they get mad when black men's eyes go elsewhere when there's more women of other races trying to play that role than black women. Right? And black women will say, well, we don't play that role because we can't play that role because y'all niggas is dusty and the community is broken. Bullshit. Y'all don't want to play that role. The way that y'all go and talk about the patriarchy and feminism and all that other shit, like that is That has been your agenda, despite all of what's wrong with black men. Y'all really don't want to play that role. So you end up losing because of that. And then again, when you see another woman play that role, that is able to play that role, y'all the first ones to get mad because it's like she's going against the sisterhood. We told these men we can't do it, and having her do it in the midst of dust, that's a problem because she's making them think that it's okay to operate in dust, right? I guess that's the argument. So you get women that they hate on it from that standpoint. But like I always look at black women sideways because I'm like, I don't even know. Okay, black men are dusty and everything else. Why do you care about what they like? You're trying to do the opposite of what you're claiming the dudes are doing. You're trying to claim that they're trying to get their beauty digging. And it's like, okay, well, I don't even know what you would call it. It's not gold digging. What the heck would it be called? You're trying to get objectification without putting in any of the work. You don't want to put the heels on. You don't want to put the makeup on. You don't want to go to the gym. You don't want to lose weight. You don't want to keep it right, keep it tight. You don't want to do any of that stuff. But yet you want, a black man to just be erect off of, I just rolled out of bed with my shower cap, frumpy dumpy self. I'm like, nah, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. It's just laziness across the board. And I just don't understand the hate. I was having a conversation with a woman the other day. She's kind of like Afrocentric and whatnot. We had a nice little brief conversation. I've talked to her before about some of the community issues. But I brought up that whole Madonna whore complex because I'm like, look, when I see a woman that's Afrocentric, you know what I mean? Unless she's just like, I think if a woman is like overly bodacious, like Erykah Badu, because if y'all don't know, Erykah Badu got an ass. But I'm saying, a woman that's Afrocentric and overly bodacious and stuff, guys can be moved like that. I talked about that before with some of these last Airbender bitches. Depending on what they wear, you can sexualize them and objectify them in your mind. But there's another segment of Afrocentric women that, like, y'all don't wear no makeup. Y'all be on the hemp dress shit. You wear clothes that does not accentuate your body. And so, we're like, oh, it's like when you come across somebody who's super religious. You're like, oh, they're super religious. I better not curse around them. Ooh, they're super religious. They were always talking about Jesus in the Bible. So let me not use any profanity around them. Let me not bring up certain topics around them because everything is a fucking sin to them, right? And the same thing applies to the Afrocentric women. If I see a woman walking around looking like Shahrazad Ali, I'm not thinking, oh, let me go spit some game and holler. That's not what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, here's a sister that wants to be respected and recognized and revered. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm thinking. If a woman is sitting there, I can tell just off of the strength of a woman's tone. And I've run into problems with that in the past where you get a woman like, because I'm intellectual, the woman will be like Afrocentric in a way, and she'll, how do I want to put it? She'll be Afrocentric in a way, and she'll think because we're like intellectual together that we would make a perfect match. But honestly, my intellectual will be labeled as I don't know, too white or too Eurocentric, while their intellectualism is militant and magical, if that makes sense. It's not that they're like certain things we can talk about. We get on conversations about black militancy. We get on conversations about, racism and white supremacy. Bam, we'll be right there with each other. But when we get into, when we're off that topic, that's when, to me, they become magical and, start talking about vibrating at higher frequencies and levels of degrees of consciousness. And then I'm like, that's where you lose me, you know. But the women like that, a lot of times, I would label them as sapiosexuals. They're attracted to men that they think are highly intelligent, right? But what the heck is stuck in my teeth? Anyway, yeah, they're like sapiosexuals. I think that's the term, sapiosexual. You're attracted to people who you deem highly intelligent. The heck is in my mouth? Anyway, so damn, what was I saying about the damn sex and the objectification? Oh yeah, the Afrocentric women. I just said that there's certain ways that black women can carry themselves that let us know, like, you can't come at them like that. You can't come at them in a sexual way. You know what I'm saying? You just can't. And what's weird is sometimes these women, they're women in the back of their mind. They want somebody to push up on them and everything. I'm like, you don't give push up vibes. This is what I was telling the woman. I was like, you don't give push up vibes. You give black militant, fist in the air, super serious. You don't come off as like light and carefree and happy go lucky. And yes, some men, they don't want to deal with it because they're not trying to put in the work. They kind of, let's see where things go type of shit. See if we vibe, right? Maybe hit it, a few times before they decide whether they want to really engage in the shit. A lot of this stuff, men like attractive women. It doesn't matter what the style of the woman is or whatever. A lot of that doesn't really matter. If women are either attractive or they're not attractive, and that's what's going to determine whether a man walks up and approaches them. But there are certain things that after you get past that initial attraction, you start, okay, what is she really about? What does she have going on? And you start to question, what type of personality does she have? And that does play a factor in terms of whether you're going to pursue it or how you're going to pursue it once you get past the initial attraction phase. But I'm just saying, when it comes to black women, it's like the black community is extremely uncomfortable with the sexualization of black women. While we sit here and we talk about validation for black women, recognizing black women's beauty, black women winning beauty contests, black women, being, desired and thirsted after and being primary love interest in movies and things like that, right? We talk about that, and like I'll see women who they want to see black women be desired and thirsted, but the mistake that black women oftentimes make is they want black women to be in that position, but they completely ignore what black men want and what black men are attracted to. I'm like, you gotta meet the men halfway. If the man likes a woman in heels and hosiery, put the shit on. You know what I mean? But then you'll have the women go, that's giving too much into the patriarchy. I'm like, okay, bitch, then lose. Then lose, bitch. I ain't got time to sit here and bump gums with you about, you wanting to see black women as love interest or whatever. But then when I'm like, yeah. And then I'm like, and she's wearing this and she's wearing that. No, she is not wearing that. She is wearing a hemp dress and a dashiki. And it's like, what the fuck? Her head is wrapped. You know what I mean? And she's got Last Airbender makeup and she's wearing seashell earrings or some shit like. I'm like, I'm not saying that can't be sexy, but I'm saying, can she, can I see a little something, something? No, that's misogyny. It's like, oh my God. I don't know what to say about black men and women's Madonna whore complex. And I gotta emphasize, it's not just the men on this front. The men are fucked up with the shit. I don't agree with them. You know what I mean? Every time a young, attractive black woman is presented, motherfuckers start throwing up holy water, or you get dudes. It's like you can't even just objectively be like, "Hey, this chick's good looking," and it's only like out of even my followers, it's a minority of dudes, but it's a substantial enough portion of them that it's noteworthy that you got dudes, whether they just hate black women or they bring up just irrelevant shit. I can't acknowledge her attractiveness because she said something about black men. I'm like, well, I don't give a fuck whether she says something about black men. I'm talking about how the bitch looks. Okay? She either makes your dick stand at attention or she doesn't. You know what I mean? Yeah, these motherfuckers run around, act like they be kicking her out of her bed if she was in, their bed in panties and a bra. I'm like, really? If Angel Reese was in your bed with panties and I don't know, some black panties, lace panties, and a lace bra, you'd kick her out of your bed? Fuck out of here. You know what I mean? And I don't even know how y'all niggas get away with the shit without being labeled homosexual sometimes. Cause some of y'all just be going way too in. You know what I mean? No, absolutely not. Y'all be. I'm like, really? Absolutely not? I'm like, dude, you might want to check your sexuality at this point, man. I got a video coming where a dude was the title of the video is gonna be "So Colorist You're Gay," because it was a clip of a dude. He's ripping into this. I might even put it within this video. He's ripping into this dude who's light skinned, and then starts saying all this homosexual stuff about what he's going to do to the dude because he looks pretty and shit like that. I'm like, yep, see. I'm like, here we go with that, associating masculinity with femininity. I'm like that's the real colorism. And again, black women are affected by that too, because there's a chick even right now. She's African, and she got this light skinned dude that's trying to talk to her, and she telling me about it and whatnot, and I'm listening. But I'm like, I just told her point blank. I'm like, y'all don't like light skinned dudes like that. I tell just by how you react to it. And then, I brought up the whole thing about how they view dark skinned men. And it's funny because she tried to deny it, but the facial expressions are saying something completely different. I'm like, that's what y'all like. I'm like, I'm too old to sit here and argue with your ass about I don't pay attention to what y'all say anymore. I pay attention to what y'all do. Y'all like to engage in idealism and concepts of what is the right thing to say and shit like that. But again, we just look at y'all behaviors and y'all behaviors say otherwise. The idea is that a dark-skinned man embodies a level and a degree of virility and masculinity that light-skinned men don't. That's why you run around, you call them pretty boys and everything. You do everything to them, which is the exact reciprocal fraction of what dark-skinned men do and say about light-skinned women, that they're more feminine or they're more ladylike. Well, I mean, we associate whiteness and white skin and loosely textured hair with the white female. That is what we associate it with. You can't say that we don't, because we do. It's like if I say Fabio, what do you think of? Right? You think of a dude that has some feminine tendencies. Why? Because Fabio had that long blonde hair. Right? So it's like he's a beautiful girly man, that type of thing. I don't know how white women hijacked that and took that over, but basically they did. And so there's this association with, either it's long straight hair or fair skin or looser texture hair with white femininity. And the black community has not shaken that, both male and female. It's easier to identify on black men because the black men are being attracted to women that are not their own and women that don't look like them. Where black women are attracted to black men that, are literally, their counterparts, but there should be no reason why a light-skinned man, it's one thing to say I'm not attracted to a light-skinned man. It's another thing to associate feminine attributes to a man because he is light-skinned. That is colorism. But what else? Is there anything else I want to say about it? Because I've covered this before. If you want to go and hear me talk about the Madonna horror complex more in detail, I have a video on this channel with the title of that. But the black community just has a major issue, and it's messed up because, I do recognize that black women, they haven't gotten their shine, and the thing is, yeah, there is a big difference between, there's a lot of, I don't know how many times I gotta say that, there's a lot of room between being, sexy and mature without just having all your jiggly bits all over the place, and going all the way to like being sexy red and twerking on stage while you're pregnant. Like there's a lot of room in between. I don't know why people have to act like it's all it's this all or none situation, this hot and cold situation. Either that is literally the label, the Madonna horror complex. Like there's nothing in between. It's either you get a prostitute on one end or you get a nun on the other end. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. That's not even realistic. Me personally, I want to see, because I'm a big criticizer of black women's appearance. Point blank period. I want to see black women, feminine, ladylike, dolled up, in heels, in skirts, showing their legs, showing their bust line. I want to see it all. You know what I mean? I'm not with the Islamic teachings. You know what I mean? I'm not with the, she must be covered up. I'm not with the whole, and again, sometimes I look at it, I'm like, is it insecurity or is it, just the way that people, strongly feel about it? But I definitely recognize that there's insecurity in there. To sit there, I'm the type where I want men to see how beautiful my woman is. Oh yeah, that's mine. That's mine over there. You know what I mean? It's like having a fly car. You know what I mean? And you want to show your boys, yeah, man, I got the V8 twin turbo. Oh yeah, check this motherfucker out. You know what I mean? I'm not worried that anybody's going to steal my car. You know what I'm saying? But I'm showing them, hey, check the whip. Check the horsepower. Check the exhaust. Hold on, let me start it up for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like, hell yeah. But when it comes to men and their women, it's like, I don't understand having the baddest bitch. Yes, I got the baddest bitch. Now I will wrap her up for nobody to see. I'm like, I don't understand that shit. You know what I mean? If she's yours, if you trust her and she's faithful and all that other stuff, you know what I mean? Like I damn near want to have a woman that's so bad that other dudes try her so that I can see whether she's really about me or not. Like put her out there on the fish line like bait and see, she's got options. Yeah, okay, this dude's trying to shoot his shot. This other dude's trying to shoot his shot. I want to see her be like, I have a man and I love my man. I'm like, oh yeah, reel it in, baby, reel it in. That's me. Some of y'all be wrapping this shit up so much. Oh, I got a baddie. Oh, let me wrap her up. Oh, she's mine. She can't go anywhere. I'm going to lock her in my bedroom. You know what I mean? Like y'all be doing shit like that. I'm like, what are you doing? And then you never test the waters. You never get to see whether, what type of female she is, whether she's about you or not. You never get to see. You know what I'm saying? Y'all be preventing them from going out so much that you get blindsided 10 years into the relationship. You get blindsided 5 years into the relationship. Because you were just super controlling. And then they go out there and they report, my ex was super controlling. It's like, and then that just adds to the patriarchy. I don't know. I don't have that problem. And maybe it's because I feel like, I got options myself. I think I'm fairly decent looking, trying to maintain, go to the gym, work out, stay in shape as much as I can, that sort of thing. I don't feel insecure to that level. But other guys, nah, man, they get in there. They're like, I don't want nobody looking at my woman. It's like, oh, man. And I'm just like, dude, your insecurity is going to be the death of you. Because that's not attractive. But then again, some women I used to get accused of that shit. I had one woman one time, one of the waiters, he was being, I'm, ordering food and everything. And the waiter was trying to push up on my date. You know what I mean? And I mean, she was my girlfriend at the time, but we were on a date. And I was getting real irritated because he was just being real low key. I don't give a fuck about you. I'm going to focus on her. You know what I mean? And I was getting pissed about the shit, more about the disrespect than the jealousy. But when we got to the car, she was like, yes. She was like, finally, I get to see you be jealous. You know what I mean? Because she was the jealous type. I wasn't the jealous type, but I've been accused of that on more than one occasion. So maybe that's something that I should check personally or look out for myself. About me just being laid back and nonchalant and not worried, about some chick stealing my girl. There's one time, and it was embarrassing on my part when I think about it, and I never live it down for me. But I was with a chick, and we were at the club, and I guess she saw a guy that she knew that she was friends with, and they hugged a fraction of a second too long for me. And I went in there and I fucking wedged my hands in between them like, yeah! I pushed them apart on some Samson shit. I was looking crazy. But that was one time I got motherfucking jealous. Like I was like, and it was like I blacked out. I literally blacked out. Like I had no self-control, at that point. She had me like that though. She had me like that. The sex, everything, the attraction. It was just all there. She was crazy as shit though. I got to admit that she was fucking. Why is it always the slightly unstable chicks? They got the best cat, man. I swear to God. If they're slightly unstable, if they're just a little bit unhinged. You know what I mean? Like the type of chick that you got to worry about her keying your car or something like that. Oh my God, they got the best cat. Like they're just so intense with it, But yeah, I freaking, that's embarrassing. I got to admit that, But is there anything else I want to say? Can't think of it. But I just think the community it's just so uncomfortable with black women just being sexy. There's always got to, if the woman is sexy and the men are looking at her, there's always going to be some black women in the background going, you like that? Well, I don't think she's this and that. Right? And then on the other side, right? It's like if you have a woman that's she's just up there, she's just being herself, she's taking selfies like what Angel Reese did, and she's posting herself. Then all of a sudden you got dudes with all these unsolicited messages talking about man, she needs to put her clothes on, she needs to this, she needs to that, She's what's and then they always gotta turn it into like some greater black woman thing. What's wrong with our women? This is the problem with black women. They gotta make it like a whole generalized statement. And I'm saying I don't understand it. I don't understand it with Angel Reese. I don't understand it with Six the Goddess. Even when it comes to Six the Goddess, teaching other black women how to wear makeup because the fucking Gen X black women and the boomer black women did not teach young black women how to be feminine women. You know what I mean? They act like it's the environment. That's why black women are not bullshit. No, your mothers didn't teach you. Your mothers didn't teach you. The environment has nothing to do with why your mother didn't teach you how to put on freaking eyeshadow and mascara and freaking and how to, blend and all that other shit. I don't really like all that. I just give me the eye makeup, lip gloss. We're good. If you gotta wear foundation and shit, that means your skin ain't that clear, and you need to focus more on lotions and creams and anti-acne or whatever the hell you gotta do in order to clear your skin up. Your skin should be clear. You shouldn't have to cover it up and I'm hyperpigmented and all this other. You shouldn't have to do all that bullshit. You should be, I don't know any black people that don't use lotion. I get up in the morning, first thing I do is take a shower and lotion my face. I can't go without having lotion on my face. I'm just saying, that's just me. You know what I mean? But I thought most black people did that. But I don't know. Somebody's always got something to say about black women's appearance, and it just makes no sense because black women claim that they want to be recognized and objectified, but again, the feminists want it to be objectified on their terms, right? And then you get the black men that criticize black women and say, "Oh, we're over the fence because these other races of women look better." You know what I mean? And it's like, is it that they look better, or is it the fact that a lot of black women don't step their game up like that? Because I'm like, okay, again, a woman cannot change her race and what she looks like. If you don't like the way that black women look, then that's the end of the conversation. But if it's about the fact that of what black women don't wear and the fact that you can't get them in the skirts and you can't get them in the heels, or the fact that they don't want to work out or go to the gym or lose weight and keep it right and keep it tight, and they running around like a bunch of big bags, I'm with you 100%. Brothers, I will fight with you to the death. Okay? But if that's the case, then when black women doll themselves up and they're looking good, you should be singing nothing but praise. You should make all the big backs and all the women that are out here looking dusty, you should make them feel some type of way. Like, bitch, I don't give a fuck what you gotta say. Angel Reese looks good. I wish more of y'all look like that. And then just end the conversation. That's what brothers should be doing. They should be shutting that shit down. We said she's fine. We don't give a fuck about what you gotta say. And I guarantee you, some of those women will hear that and they will change their fucking behavior. Because at the end of the day, women can talk all the shit that they want. They don't want to lose. They don't want to lose. They don't want to be overlooked. They don't want to not be paid attention to. Again, the women absorb all that shit. They hear all that shit. They hear our complaints. You know what I mean? But see, there's a lot of dudes out here, y'all ain't got no discipline. There's a lot of dudes out here, you don't have your shit together, and because you don't have your shit together, a lot of you all are laying up with bitches that you don't really fucking want, which lets her think that where she's at and what she's doing is okay, when the reality is the minute that you get a little parlay going on, or you get some money, or you get a bag, you gonna roll the fuck out and you gonna get you a badder bitch that's doing all the shit that you're tolerating with the big bag bitch that you with right now. That's the reality. That's the truth. And so a lot of y'all dusty niggas got these women fucking confused, because, you just trying to get in where you fit in. And that's a problem. So like I hear black women with their complaints, and I'm like, I'm with you, but what's up with all the, you know, bitching about objectification, bitching about hashtag Me Too, and then turning around and then screaming about colorism or black men don't like black women. But when they trying to holler at you, you act like, the world is crumbling. You act like, oh, I'm so offended. Can you believe that this black man tried to ask me for my number on the train? How dare he? Really? How dare he? 5 minutes ago it was they only want white women. Now he trying to holler at you, and now you got to turn it into some big grandiose embarrassment, like what you see with these stupid ass balloon popping shows. The way that they disrespect each other. You know what I mean? They try to clown each other and all this. Okay, you don't like them, you don't like them. You know what I mean? I don't like him because I think that, the way his shirt is fitting on him is kind of gay. I didn't like this brother because he's a Sagittarius. I mean, they be coming up with the lamest shit to disqualify people. I had one guy, he came on, and he did seem kind of soft and a little sweet, but the women, you talk to black women, I'm looking for a God-fearing man, a God-fearing Christian. That's what I'm looking for because I'm a woman of God. And the brother came on there and he was talking about helping the community and how he wants a woman that goes to church. As soon as he said church, like 3 black women popped their damn balloons. I was like, look at this shit. Look at this shit. But if I come on the internet and you get on these dating shows, oh, and Kendra G's up there, oh, what type of man you looking for? Kendra, I'm looking for a God-fearing man. Bullshit. Bullshit. I mean, this shit is hilarious the way that people just openly contradict themselves. And we can all see it on, just see it on the internet, swiping through IG and all this other shit. It's just like, yo, this is wild. Y'all be saying one thing, but then it's something else. And then the same with the dudes. Dudes be out here, yeah, black women, they don't look as good, and we want them to look good, and they need to wear this and wear that and be sexy. As soon as black woman puts it on, all of a sudden, they're like, splashing her with holy water like it's a vampire or some shit like that. The power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you. I'm like, damn, man. I thought you said you wanted the woman to look sexy and look like she moves you. You know what I'm saying? Nah, motherfuckers. And then it's conditional. You know what I mean? They're like, if I say I'm gonna put you in a room with her looking just like that, they're like, oh, hell yeah, right? If I say I'm going to take the woman in the same outfit, I'm going to put her in a room at, at somebody's house watching a football game. Oh, no, she can't wear that. No, my boys is going to be there. No, she can't wear that. I'm like, why can't she wear that? When it was just you and her, yeah, that's because it was just me and her. But no, she can't wear that in front of the boys. I'm like, oh my God. But the crazy thing is, when it comes to like white girls and Latinas, I don't really hear that type of shit. Niggas be jumping up and down, because, the white girl is a pog and she got the jeans that got her ass poked out, or the Latina, is some thick ass Dominican and some shit like that. And what I've noticed, and this is across the board, this seems to be across racial lines. You see this with the black women who are in Europe, where the white men, they really treat black women like whores. They treat them like prostitutes. They make all type of, oh yes, mi morena, yes, oh yes, you're beautiful, oh yes, come back to my chateau. You know what I mean? Like they always doing all that shit. You see all that, these creepy white men in Europe, right? And that's another aspect of we don't talk about the racial Madonna whore complex, which is where men don't want to shit and do all the sexual deviant shit they want to do in their own community, but they want to do it outside of the community. And that's a very weird dynamic because, it it actually shows a level of respect for your own. You know what I mean? Where like, like a black guy, he'll want to he wants to respect the black woman. He sees the black woman as mother-like and all that. But when it comes to his dark side, his sexual deviant side, you know what I mean? He only sees white women as sexual. This is one of the things one of the problems that I see with pornography, with the deification of white women in porn. Because if you're a young black boy and you get exposed to porn, you're going to see way more white females in porn than black females in porn. Not to mention, I wonder, like even when it comes to white women, the way that black men are basically put up there as mandingo phalluses. There aren't enough black people in America to make interracial porn profitable. So who's watching the interracial porn? You know what I mean? Like back in the day, I used to be on some dating sites. And you know who used to always hit me up? And it was always perplexing. White women from places like North Dakota, Wyoming, Utah, Idaho. Like these sorts of places where there were no black men. And they would come sliding in the DMs and I'm just sitting there. I'm like, it just don't make no sense, So I'm just saying, there's a lot of that to go. Like if you look at Fatima Diame, if you go to any video on Fatima Diame, go look at the names and shit. That's the screen names. A lot of those names that you're gonna see are, they're European names. You know what I'm saying? Alejandro football, football 1, 2, 3, right? That'll be like the screen name, right? And they'll be there and saying something. Sometimes you got to hit the translate button. You know what I mean? White guys, they look, but in terms of them valuing the black woman beyond the nut, that's where it's questionable. And, this goes into the whole white men have white supremacy and a white patriarchy to maintain. So despite the fact that they'll dabble outside the community, when it comes to their lust, they're going to return home to Becky. Where black men, because the black community is not patriarchal and there isn't a system of black supremacy, you end up with black men going out there and actually marrying white women and producing children with white women. And then you have all the other stuff we got going on, gender war shit and black women's behavior that black men don't like, and the matriarchy and feminism, which only further exacerbates that problem. So it's a slightly different dynamic, but I do cringe at the idea that you got white men out here that they'll dick down a black woman, but they won't marry him. But then you got black men that'll dick down white woman and marry them. So just something to think about. But what else is there to say? I think that's pretty much it. I just think the black community it's a circular argument because it's just never going to end. I cannot get enough brothers to agree with me on, the elevation of black women's like desirability and sexuality and whatnot. I don't know. I wonder how many black men like the girl next door look. Like at least white men kind of have that. They got the girl next door. You know what I mean? Like I guess like Tatiana Lee filled that role like on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, right? She was kind of in the same league as like Topanga. I think pretty much every black man across America back in the 90s had a crush on Topanga. She was it. She was it. But
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hello?
Where you at?
Where we at? Oh, you want to know where I'm at? We outside!